All right, I'm going to go ahead and help you get started on the soapstone. If you have clicked to watch this video, that means that you wanted me to read the speech to you and kind of get you started. So you'll need the following things. You'll need the soapstone answer sheet. You're going to need some highlighters, a pencil. You'll need the speech, and you're going to go ahead and, it's in the notes section of your binder, get out the green tone words. So pause the video while you get all of these items ready. The next thing that we need to do is identify the colors and get your answer sheet set up. So go ahead and take the yellow highlighter, and you don't need to color in the whole box, just put a little bit of yellow in this area, because remember, we don't write answers in this box because we're going to highlight the evidence so that you don't have to write anything out. Occasion is going to be pink, so you can go ahead and put a pink little mark in this box for occasion. I also would like for you with your pencil to write out this question. Hopefully maybe you can write smaller than I did. What happened that caused a need to write this? I need for you to remember this question when you're trying to find occasion. Something had prompted the author to write this piece. Something happened in that time period or in current time that made the author think, wow, I think I should write an article about it. So you need to ask yourself that question when you're trying to find occasion. All right, so that's pink. Go ahead and grab the green highlighter. If I'm going too fast, you can pause the video at any time. With the green highlighter, you're going to be asking yourself, who is this article written for? Who was meant to be reading it? And we will mark that with green. Next is blue. And after you make a little blue mark here, I want you to write the word PI. PI is an acronym, and since you don't write in this box, maybe you could write what I would like for you to put, which is what the PI stands for. That is persuasive. It's hard to write with this. Persuasive. The I is to inform. And then the E is to entertain. So that means it's one of these, and the answer will go over here in this box, okay? So maybe write those 3 letters out for this acronym over here so that you can remember when you get to purpose, you will use one of these answers to put in this box. Okay, let's see here. Next, go ahead and grab an orange highlighter, and you can highlight speaker. Put some orange in that box right here. Speaker is basically the person that wrote it. But listen, friends, I need for you to remember something. Some of you are just writing the author's name right here and then you stop. You're going to get that wrong. You need to take it one step further. So if the author's name is blah, 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 I need for you also to tell me if the author was yes, they were biased, or no, they were not. And then I need you to put a yes or a no if they were reliable. In other words, are they credible? Okay? So don't forget, maybe with your pencil, you might want to put, like some stars or circle bias and reliable. Like, don't forget to answer that part of the question when it comes to the speaker, because a lot of you are just putting the author's name and then you're done. All right, grab the purple highlighter and make a little purple mark here. And I would like for you with your pencil to write down that this is when you are going to need to get out that green sheet of paper and use that. Remember, it looks like this right here. It has the green paper. It has all of your tone words on it. You're going to use that as a word bank when you try to answer the tone question, okay? So write down to get your green sheet so that you don't forget. Okay, so now we have all of the colors marked and on our answer sheet, and we're ready to go. So let's go ahead and read the article together. This is a speech by Dr. King, and he went to the church to try and motivate everybody after Rosa Parks was arrested. So in the beginning, it's always good to kind of check this out. In the beginning, he gives there's like this little caption here. This is not part of the speech. This is just them setting you up, okay? The Montgomery bus boycott. The Montgomery bus boycott speech, reprinted below, is one of the first major addresses of Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. King spoke to nearly 5,000 people at the Holt Street Baptist Church in Montgomery on December 5th, 1955, just 4 days after Rosa Parks had been arrested for refusing to relinquish her seat on a Montgomery City bus. That arrest led to the first major civil rights campaign in the Deep South in half of a century. In this speech, King urges the audience, which has just voted to boycott the bus, to continue that campaign until they achieve their goal of ending the humiliation and the intimidation of black citizens there and elsewhere in Montgomery, or to use his words, to gain justice on the buses in the city. All right, so that was just kind of like a little introduction about his intent with the speech. So now let's go ahead and read the speech together. Obviously, Martin Luther King does a much better job, but I'm just trying to get you through it. My friends, we are certainly very happy to see each of you out this evening. We are here this evening for serious business. We are here in a general sense because first and foremost we are American citizens, and we are determined to apply our citizenship to the fullest of this meaning. We are here also because of our love of democracy, because of our deep-seated belief that democracy transformed from thin paper to thick action is the greatest form of government on earth. In other words, because of this democracy, we have a right of freedom of speech and the right to do things. So he's kind of letting everybody know that, it's okay to be doing what we're doing. We have a right to do this. But we are here in a specific sense because of the bus situation in Montgomery. We are here because we are determined to get the situation corrected. Just the other day, just last Thursday to be exact, one of the finest citizens in Montgomery, not one of the finest Negro citizens, but one of the finest citizens in Montgomery, was taken from the bus and carried to jail, and because she refused to give up her seat to a white person. Mrs. Rosa Parks is a fine person, and since it had to happen, I'm happy that it happened to a person like Mrs. Parks, for nobody can doubt the boundless outreach of her integrity. Nobody can doubt the height of her character, and nobody can doubt the depth of her her commitment and devotion to the teachings of Jesus. And I'm happy since it had to happen, that it happened to a person that nobody can call a disturbing factor in the community. Mrs. Parks is a fine Christian person, unassuming, and yet there is an integrity and character there. And just because she refused to get up her seat, she was then arrested. On the back. And my friends, there comes a time when people get tired of being trampled over by thin iron feet of oppression. There comes a time, my friends, when people get tired of being plunged across the abyss of humiliation, where they experience the bleakness of nagging despair. There comes a time when people get tired of being pushed out of the glittering sunlight of life's July and left standing amid the piercing chill of an alpine November. There comes a time. So Martin Luther King is using that strategy of repetition, which does work well. I want to say that in all of our actions, we must stick together. Unity is the great need of the hour, and if we are united, we can get many of the things that we not only desire, but which we justly deserve. And don't let anybody frighten you. We are not afraid of what we are doing because we are doing it within the law. There is never a time in our American democracy that we must ever think that we are doing something wrong with this protest. We reserve that right. When labor all over this nation came to see that it would be trampled over by capitalistic power, it was nothing wrong with labor getting together and organizing and protesting for its rights. But just before leaving, I want to say this. I want to urge you. You have voted for this boycott. You have done it with a great deal of enthusiasm, and I want to express my appreciation to you on behalf of everybody here. Now let us go out and stick together and stay with this thing until the end. Now it means sacrificing, yes, it means sacrificing at points, but there are some things that we've got to learn to sacrifice for. We've got to come to the point that we are determined not to accept a lot of things that we have been accepting in the past. Remember, that's what Rosa Parks was talking about in that letter, about how people are brainwashed because they're accepting it. So I'm urging you now, we have the facilities for you to get to your jobs. We have the cabs there at your service. Automobiles will be at your service. And don't be afraid to use any of the gas. If you have it, you are fortunate enough to have a little money. Use it for a good cause. Now, my automobile is going to be in it. It has been in it. And I'm not concerned about how much gas I'm going to use. I want to see this thing work. And we will not be content until oppression is wiped out of Montgomery and really out of America. Okay, so here you have, here we've read the article in its entirety. So you have that in front of you. You have the soapstone. We've talked about what colors will be what, so that's ready to go. So now all you need to do is just start answering what you think goes here. And then don't forget to also highlight the evidence within the article so that you know what your answers are, so that you have the support for your answers. Okay? When you're done working on this, we'll discuss your answers, or there's a video that goes over the answers, whichever you prefer.